My name's Courtney Gilbert. I'm the curator of visual arts at the Sun Valley Center for the Arts, and the exhibition that we have up right now is called Rayguns, Robots, Drones, Technologies, Peril, and Promise. This exhibition is part of the Center's Winter Big Idea project, which is a look at technology's benefits and also its inherent dangers. One of the questions that we're trying to ask with this exhibition is whether any technology can ever exist solely for good. Robots are a really great example of a technology that has so much promise for making our lives easier and more efficient, and then on the other hand, robots seem like they might be full of danger, not only in the real world, but also in the world of fiction. The exhibition features artwork by 5 contemporary artists, a collection of vintage ray guns, vintage toy robots, as well as some contemporary toy robots, and a collection of bear brick figures. We commissioned artist Michael Salter, who is a professor at the University of Oregon, to build on-site here in our museum space one of his styrobots. Salter's become really well known for these large-scale sculptures that he builds out of recycled styrofoam. I think his sculptures get at sort of our ambivalent relationship with technology. His styrobots seem very benign, but they're kind of giant and looming over the audience. We have paired his styrobot here with a selection of vinyl images from a series he calls his icons. And they come out of his belief that our visual culture is really saturated. We're constantly surrounded by imagery, particularly as consumers. 2 other artists in the exhibition also work with the idea of robots, and both of them are interested in the idea that technology can be a vehicle for expressing our creativity and even our spirituality. Nate Galpin is a local artist. He grew up in the Wood River Valley. He has been working for a number of years on a series of what he calls drawing robots, inspired by the saying that the way to make money is to make it while you sleep. It got him thinking about the idea of making art and whether he could make art while he slept. He started out with a rotisserie motor that a friend had given him, experimenting with attaching different kinds of drawing mediums, using different kinds of machines that he built to create without the hand of the artist. I think he's really curious about the question, can there be art without an artist? And the drawings that result from these robots are really incredibly beautiful. Cal Speletich is a San Francisco-based artist who also builds machines that are an exploration of ideas about beauty and creativity and spirituality. Most of the time when new technology is invented, it's invented in order to make our lives easier or more profitable. But what if a machine could be imbued with spiritual qualities? And so we have several sculptures on display that require viewers to interact with them, either by pressing buttons or by placing their finger on a piece of copper, and then they perform these beautiful spiritual gestures. They're very meditative, quiet sculptures that ask the viewer to participate with them in this kind of creative and spiritual experience. 2 of the artists in the exhibition are working with the idea of drone warfare. One of them is a painter based in New Orleans named John Isaiah Walton, who has recently started a series that he's calling War Games. These paintings are inspired by a childhood playing board games like Battleship, a steady diet of A&E war documentaries, and also his interest in Japanese anime. And so he's created these kind of loose, almost childlike images of different drones that the US military uses, as well as some robotic machines that the military uses, on backgrounds that he's created out of board game boxes. He's trying to get us to ask ourselves, what happens to warfare when it's conducted remotely? Soldiers who are fighting wars may never have any real contact with their human enemies, aided by technology and protected by technology on the one hand, but on the other hand, depersonalizing the experience of warfare. Mawish Chishti is an artist who is also deeply interested in the issue of drone warfare. She was born in Pakistan, and in the United States she began using her traditional training as a miniature painter to consider larger kind of global political issues. About 6 years passed between the time that she came to the United States and her first visit home to Pakistan. She decided to start making work about this constant presence of drones in Pakistan by making beautiful paintings of them that use her training as a miniature painter, as well as all kinds of imagery from Pakistani folk art, including truck art and bus art, in order to kind of spark a conversation about drone warfare. As part of this big idea project, Company of Fools presented the play Grounded, and Mawish helped design the set by creating a vinyl image of a Reaper drone. So here she's created an image of a Predator drone for our project room space, and we've applied that to a sculptural support that hangs over visitors and kind of looms over them as they view her other artwork. We also really want people of all ages to consider the role of technology in our fantasies, the way that, Rosie the robot made life for the Jetsons so easy and carefree. We have a collection of toy robots, some of which are replicas of some of the earliest toy robots made in the 1940s and 50s, as well as some more contemporary robots on hand for people to play with. We also have a collection of bear brick figures, which are made by a toy company in Japan. These collectible figures that get at our cultural fascination with robots. And finally, we have this wonderful collection of vintage Rayguns from the Jerry L. Wolfson collection. Rayguns that date from the 1930s to about the 1980s. And it's so fun to see the evolution of the different types of ray guns through the decades, different materials. The ray gun really embodies our fantasies about technology making life easy by letting you stun your enemy. So the ray gun for us is a nice way of thinking about how technology is part of our fantasy life. I hope that people of all ages will come in to see the exhibition. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to think about the role that technology plays in their lives, both as something that's a benefit and makes life easier and more enjoyable, but also may have a downside.